everybody, it's Rebecca here at Why Mermaids, and welcome to my July wrap-up. So I read a total of 7 things in the month of July, which is standard. It's about average for me lately here. I'm still behind on my Goodreads goal, but who cares about that? 7 things is pretty good. I got like halfway through another one, but anyway, I finished 7 things. So I read 5 like actual books. I read 1 play. Getting guesses on what it is, and I read 1 graphic novel. I had an average rating of a 3.5, which is because there's a 2 and a 5, and I, you know, kind of come in there with a couple 4s. So anyway, it's a decent month. I had a 5. Yay, I had a 5. Any guesses as to what it was? Okay, so let's start off with the lowest and head up to the highest. My tag is still on. Awkward. So let's get into what I read. My 2-star rating for the month is 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Harstad, who is a Norwegian author. So whoop whoop, getting that you know, diverse reading in there. However, I was not a fan of this book. I was not a fan. I've heard good things about this book. A lot of people on BookTube that I trust really liked it. I was not one of those people. And I think honestly, it's just because it probably got hyped up a little bit for me too much, because people were like, oh my god, it's amazing and it's scary. And also because I had a lot of issues with like little tiny details, like things that bother me. Like details bother me. They need to be there. And so that's really kind of the issue that I had. The premise of 172 Hours on the Moon is there's like some weird, mysterious thing on the moon that NASA has kept a secret from pretty much everyone except for like the 5 people who knew about it. And oh my gosh, it's back. Surprise, surprise. So what do they decide to do because NASA has no money? They don't send any people to the moon anymore. Because it's a thing. I don't understand why, but anyway. So they don't do that, so they're trying to like revamp interest in the moon program because of this issue that they have. So what do they decide to do? Let's send teenagers up to the moon. No. Just no. Alright, I get it. They want to do it because it makes a big, broad, like a big event. It's like, woo, teenagers going to the moon. We'll get everybody from all around the world invited and invested and excited about this trip. However, they just picked 3 random teenagers from around the world. They didn't even have like a vetting process. I wanted more of like a training thing, and they had to like whittle down the people, because going to the moon is not an easy thing. Going to space is not an easy thing on your body, and the chances that 3 random teenagers are all perfectly fit and ready to go is just ludicrous to me, and I had a really hard time getting past that. And that was basically my biggest issue. Second thing is that the scary part of it wasn't even really that scary, and it kind of seemed dumb to me. So there was like 1 scary part, and it had more to do with an urban legend than the actual threat on the moon. So anyway, I just was not a fan. I'm sorry if you really like it. It's not a personal attack on you. Again, we can all have our own opinions. Please don't just hit dislike because you're upset that I didn't like your favorite book, because that's just trolling and mean. Just tell me. We'll chat about it. Tell me why you really liked it in the comments, and maybe we can talk about it. Maybe you can convince me, but I couldn't get past that. Really, that's kind of the biggest thing, is I couldn't get past this like 3 random teenager thing. Like, come on, really? Like, really, NASA has like contingency plans for contingency plans, and you're telling me they didn't even have a backup? Like, no. Anyway, so I only gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I really wanted to like it, but I didn't. I had 2 3-star reads. The first one is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. A lot of people were really into this book last year. They compared it to Gone Girl a lot, which I kind of see, because basically I didn't like any of the characters at all. But I did like the mystery. So in that regards, it's very similar to Gone Girl, but it's not. So basically there's a girl who rides the train every day, and she has this like fantasy about this couple she always sees, and then one day the girl from the fantasy couple goes missing, and so she feels like she's invested into this mystery. And so she basically, all the women in The Girl on the Train are too reliant upon men and men's opinions of them, and they just are very like depressing type people. And I was like, come on, like, get your own life, stop depending on men, stop like making your happiness depend on men. Like, be your own self. And I just wanted to shake these women so much. But the mystery was really good. So I did really like the mystery. I like what happened. It wasn't super predictable from the beginning, which is good because I had my predictions and I was wrong, which I like to be wrong because it means that the book was actually well written. So although I did not like the characters, I did like the mystery, so I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Next one is In Real Life by Jessica Love, and this is a YA contemporary novel about a girl and a guy who are best friends online, but they've never met. And so on a spur of a moment kind of thing, she decides to go surprise him in Vegas, and it's just kind of that one day / night in Vegas. The two of them, and there's like some, you know, surprises and things like that. It's a cute little contemporary love story that I think resonates so much with today's day and age where people meet online, even if it's on Match or just through random people. Like some of my really good friends, some of my best friends, I've met through BookTube, and so I thought it was really kind of cool to explore those type of relationships. And so contemporaries for me are never really 5 stars, or even they're rarely 4s, just because it doesn't, like, I don't love them, but I did really enjoy it, so I did give it a 3 out of 5 stars. But again, it wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever written, but I did like it. I liked the characters, and although she got a little whiny at times, and I was like, come on, you're such a goody goody, but I thought it was a cute story, so 3 out of 5. And this book was recommended to me by Trina from Between Chapters because I needed a quick contemporary to kind of get me out of a slump, and so she recommended it to me, and I'm really glad that she did. Now, I also finished the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy this month, so I read Days of Blood and Starlight, which I gave 3.5 stars, and then I read Dreams of Gods and Monsters, which I gave 4 stars, both of which are by Laini Taylor, and I actually have a full series review of this in the works. Like, I've written it down, I just need to film it and find a time to post it because my channel like had nothing on it, and then for like 2 months, and now I have like a million things planned, which is awesome. So anyway, there is a full series review coming of the Daughter and Smoke and Bone trilogy. I did really like where it went. I got really invested into it despite not really liking Akiva all that much, who is kind of the male lead. Basically, it's if you don't know anything about Daughter of Smoke and Bone, it's kind of a fantasy romance with a girl kind of caught between 2 different worlds, the real world and this like fantasy other world where there are angels and demons. In a kind of sense, in a way. And there's like a war that's going on, and she's kind of caught in the middle of this war, and I really liked the way it progressed. I really liked where the second and the third story went with it, but I thought the ending was kind of, for a 600 page book, the ending was a little like rushed to me in a way. Like, it should have been split, and I think I would have been happier. So there was a lot of like new characters and things that I was kind of like, meh. But I gave the last one 4 stars, so overall I really enjoyed it. Look out for that full review coming soon. For my graphic novel this month, I gave it 4 stars, and it was Sweet Tooth Volume 2 in Captivity by Jeff Lemire. And this is, again, a continuation of the graphic novel Sweet Tooth, where it's a boy in a post-apocalyptic world, and he's like a hybrid of a human and an animal, and it's kind of like this weird mystery going on with where they came from and why these kids are around and what's going on and who can you trust and who can you not trust. It's a really good post-apocalyptic story. I love post-apocalyptic stories, and I really enjoyed the second one just as much as the first one, really. So again, 4 stars, and I will be continuing. And finally, the last thing that I read it in a day. I read it in less than a day, and you all know what it is because I've already done a review of it, or thoughts or something. But anyway, it's Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling and John Tiffany and Jack Thorne. And I loved it. If you want to see my full thoughts on this, because I have a lot of them, I have a video up. You can watch it. It just goes into all of my thoughts about why it's not as good as the original 7, but why I still love it anyway. And so 5 out of 5 stars. I love all things Harry Potter, and I will always love all things Harry Potter. So, mwah. Well, that is it for my July wrap-up. Let me know what your thoughts are on any of these books that I've talked about, and what your favorite read was in the month of July. And I can't wait to chat more with you in the comments, and that's it for me today. I'll see you next time.